right, we have a very important question for you. Is it time to buy these graded books, Zach?
Maybe. Find out.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic, bright out version of Comic Gains! And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach and this Princess of Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess way. So bow down and do a burpee or a squat or something.
Oh, burpee, yeah.
She's getting fit, guys. She just got back from the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think everyone's going to the gym lately. That's crazy. All right. So, yes, it's like late here, but it's super bright out. It's a cool day. Summer is upon us, guys. So today is Saturday. We got a really cool list for you. So we got our brand new, is it time to buy these graded books with Zach? So we'll get into that a little bit. And as you know, we got back from the comic book store, and on Wednesday we picked up our new books. So it's a nice, decent sized week, right, Princess? Decent sized week. She picked up the books for the group, so kind of see how that goes.
And before we jump into it, just remember, this Wednesday we're having a whatnot sale, or the princesses, and we're selling a very special book to all of you, hopefully. It's our first ever Comic Gains exclusive, Draculina number 4. If you guys can't get on Whatnot for any reason, contact the princess and we'll work something out. They're selling for $25. There's only 5. Yeah, that's our new logo that I'll be changing pretty soon.
Thank you, Anti-Hero.
Thank you, Anti-Hero. Community member helping us out. Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get into anything else, though, we need to step into
I forgot.
Get into a right headspace, right?
Yeah, all the ways down. But no, specifically, it's a beer, and it's a 10 Barrels Brewing called This beer specifically is called All the Ways Down.
No, Always Down.
Always Down.
Oh, because
all the ways.
Zach's always down.
Always down. I like to put the in there. You know, like everything's better with the door. They could have been called Doors, but they were called The Doors. The band. Anyways, it's a double IPA. It's probably 8%, 9%. Jeez. Oh, there's the 0.2. And as you guys know, the 0.2 is the best part, which is specifically the first sip of the beer. 0.2.
Let's get into that. I can see that.
Let's get into this. Whoa. I'm always down to drink this beer. That's good.
Double?
Oh my god. It's double the flavor, double the fun.
Nice. All right, guys. Let's get into it. So let's kick it off. We'll start off with our new comic book day haul for would have been Wednesday, June 22nd. So pretty good week. Nice mixture of good like DC books, Marvel books, Image books, some indie stuff. It was like a nice clean mixture all the way across. So starting off the day, we have a DC book here. This is Dark Crisis, Young Justice, number 1. This is the limited series 1 through 6. Dark Crisis is just kicking off. I got a chance to read the 2 books starting into this run, and kind of decided to like pick this up, maybe read the first issue of this one, see how I like it. I didn't realize there was going to be so many like spin-off series within the Dark Crisis. I don't know if I want to buy that many books to read all that stuff, because I'm not quite sure I know what's going on, but I figure this will give me a good idea of what's going on with Young Justice at this point in the DC world.
Looking ahead.
Right? So next up, Princess picked up Samurai Sonia from Dynamite Comics, number 1. We got much love for Dynamite. This is a nice Pirello cover. I think Princess is going to read this, see how she feels about Samurai Sonia. It's a nice spin-off.
Yes, it's a nice little spin-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if she gets traveled to Japan, like spirited away, and then like she has to become a samurai.
Or it's like a whole different character with also the name Sonya. I don't know. It doesn't have the classic red hair. What? I don't know. We'll see. Princess will let us know. Next up, we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 39, and this is the continuation with Miles being in that alternate universe where Salem, who's the clone that died in the regular universe, was actually killed Miles in their universe and took over. It's kind of weird. I was reading it last night, not this one, but the one before it, where he basically like cut out a portion of Brooklyn and is in control of Brooklyn. He's not in control of the whole world, but just like that one city. But it's weird. They're like further in the past. Like everybody else is way older. It's cool though. It's really good. I'm digging the story so far.
Wait. Further in the past?
Or further in the future.
Okay.
Further in the future. Like all the other characters are like Genki and all of them are like way old compared to Miles. But this Miles keeps himself younger. The bad Miles, Salem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're gonna have to like fight it. And they find at the end of the last book they found Peter and he's like this old man. Which Peter should I think is no, he wouldn't be dead in the regular. I don't know. It's weird how all those multiverses get mixed up.
Sounds like a good.
I feel like my head's going down the rabbit hole. Okay, next up, more Miles goodness. I'm really excited about this book, but you've got Miles Morales and Moon Girl #1, so like a cool team up book. I don't know if this is gonna be like all ages or like are on the younger side, or if it's gonna be aligned with what's going on. I know it's kind of interesting on the cover. He's wearing the old costume. He's not currently wearing that costume, so I don't know where the storyline falls in place.
Interesting.
Plus, he's in the multiverse, so I don't know how he's kicking with Moon Girl at the same time, but we will find out. I'm definitely reading that.
Maybe that's his Morty. Like he has to bring somebody along, so why not a girl and a dinosaur?
Well, he already has that
Girl
one guy
with
with him.
Oh.
The other
What?
Shift. Yeah, the clone's already with him. His best friend. They actually called him besties in the last book.
Besties?
I know, right? But we'll get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up we have Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, #7 from Dynamite again, and you have the nice Rose Beach cover. This is something Princess is collecting. I think she literally has 1 through 7 right now of the Rose Beach cover.
Nice.
So those are worth getting just on that cover alone.
Yes.
I have not read it, but I'm assuming it's a good story.
I'm digging the art.
Yeah. They're getting some really good artists to do their covers lately,
They're throwing some down some money.
Next up, we got Noctira, #11. This is the Scott Snyder story. This is getting interesting like that. You can see on the cover, that's like Blacktop Bill, who's originally the bad guy in the first story arc. Now he's kind of traveling with their caravan. He's still not a good guy, but he's fighting with them, and they've gone through some kind of crazy stuff lately. So it's weird how the main bad guy is now kind of chilling with them. But
Interesting.
still doesn't seem like a good person.
Right.
This is cool. Star Wars Crimson Reign #5. This is the final book in this 5-part series for the run, and it's a cool story. Actually, I've been digging this a lot. It's like Kiara is kind of like secretly manipulating everybody in the Star Wars universe. Like I don't know if there's Jedis at this time, but there might be some of them. But definitely the Empire and definitely like the Rebels. She's like manipulating everybody, kind of like for good, but there's a little bit of doing stuff she wants for herself at the same time.
Of course.
Yeah, but she's almost like smarter than like the Emperor in them. It's crazy.
Dang, they're blowing her up.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see if they continue on. I mean, I don't know and we don't know what happened to her in the further universe. You know what I mean? In canon wise, I don't know if she died or she's still alive.
I'm hoping she's still alive. That'd be amazing.
Me too. All right. I know we're super behind on this book, but Something is Killing the Children, #24, and this is a crazy cover. I'm not even sure what this is. I think the last one I read was book 15, and I'm not reading it because I don't not like it. I love the story. Just haven't kept reading it.
Looked like an eye in a stomach.
It could be. There's like those weird,
Take a look at
like stuffed animal things, right? That they mess around with.
What the heck? Yeah,
don't
that's so weird.
They all go into the princess's collection. She reads that story. Okay, next up. See, it's a nice big week. We got Moon Knight #12. This is the one written by McKay. Just overall, just great story. There's nothing bad about this Moon Knight story. Just good read. Every time a new issue comes out, there's something cool going on. And I know I said it before, it's almost kind of like each book is its own individual story. Like you don't really need to read the last one to know what's going on with this one. There's like almost a new character, new story, and then it ends by the end of the book.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of like those TV shows back in the 90s.
Yeah.
None of the ongoing stuff.
Weird.
Okay, this I thought was cool. This was kind of like a last minute pickup, but you got Black Adam #1. I don't know who did this cover, but it's crazy good.
It looks like a Boss Logic.
I don't know. It's cool though. But this is a limited series of 1 through 12, and I thought it'd be a good idea to pick this up. To read it because it sounds cool, but he's also passing the mantle on to a new Black Adam.
Oh, really?
In this story. So,
oh, wow.
Really good time to jump in if you're thinking about reading the Black Adam character and kind of getting some new mythos going on with a new lead character.
I mean, I'm really excited for the movie.
Yeah, me
Should
too.
be coming out soon. Right?
A nice mixture of like old Golden Age characters, Golden Age characters with some of the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Atom Smasher and Cyclone. Okay, Prince is gonna have to cover her book up here. So you got what's the regular version? Like just I hate this place, or isn't that the regular name? But there's alternate covers that say F this place. So, and I don't know. I didn't read the first one, but Princess is still going forward with this book, so we'll see. I'm guessing she likes it, or she just likes the fact that it says the F word on the cover.
It's funny,
but it's interesting that they have to print two versions of it, and I don't know if they're considering this like a cover B or if they're both cover A.
It should be both cover A.
That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, a little weird.
Real weird.
I would match a pair. That's what I would do.
Okay, next up, we've got Bloodstained Teeth. This should be number 3, and this is a Christian Ward book. I'm digging this so far. I've read the first 2. They were both good. The first one I thought was a lot better than the second book, but they're still giving you a lot. There's like all new world, new characters, all vampire stuff, but it's kind of a different vampire world where like the vampires that are the purebloods don't like it when you make a new vampire, so they're like not cool with any time you make a new. So if like someone else creates a new vampire, they're kind of like a piece of crap to everybody else, and they kind of want to get rid of the other vampire. It's weird. It's a weird the way it works, but it's a cool story. Kind of original for a vampire story, if that's such a thing.
I read a book that was about a fat vampire. It was kind of funny.
A fat vampire?
Yeah, it was hilarious. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, they turned into this fat guy, and like once you get turned into a vampire, you never change, no matter how much you do.
Oh wow! Okay.
it was so weird. Like okay,
you're like you're stuck that way forever, bro.
It was actually a pretty good read, surprisingly.
Yeah, nice. Okay, this is something like a curveball I threw out of left field here that I thought would be a cool book to try and read. You have Beware the Eye of Odin, number 1. I'm not really even sure, like, Wagner is the writer on this book. I haven't really read any of the stuff before, but I thought it was a cool idea. Like, I'm really into fantasy, kind of like questing stuff, like a group of guys. It sounds like a group of people go on a quest to find something, and I'm like, I haven't really read anything like that in a while, or if ever, so I'm like, might as well try a book out, you know?
I always go on a quest, Sam.
Do you?
For beer.
Mm-hmm.
I
always succeed. I always succeed.
Mission accomplished.
So that wraps up the new comic book day haul. I don't think we missed anything that we were looking for. Pretty much got the full run. I don't think nothing was shooting up high value that was like out of the blue. Sometimes you look and see afterwards if one book like nobody knew about was all of a sudden getting crazy hot. I don't think there was anything like that this week. All right, next segment here. Is it time to buy these graded books? We will ask our good friend Zachary. So how this segment works, and this is a good learning tool for all of us as well as us. Princess and myself, we basically take a larger list of graded comics that are trending, like comics that are really trending, are selling a lot, and we're trying to understand why these are selling a lot, or if it's a good idea to maybe pick these up because they're trending. Everyone else is getting. Maybe you want to jump on that bandwagon. Maybe you don't want to jump on that bandwagon. Sometimes that happens. But Princess picks out a couple books, I pick out a couple books, and then we give that list to Zach, and he gives us the information, what he thinks. So we'll kick this off right. Starting out, we have all new Marvel Now, .1, number 1. Now, we were talking about this, really confusing how many different Marvel Now, .1, number 1s there are. But this is the one that's the first appearance of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. This book here, the cover was done by Salvador Caroca. There's a mixture of stories involved in here. It came out in 2014. Along with first Kamala Khan, it does have first Bruno, Zach.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Mm-hmm. That was exciting, now that we all know who Bruno is from the TV show. Tantalith the Pursuer, and Don Greenwood, who's a Silver Surfer ally. Cool book. It's also kind of special that it has a lower print run. It's only limited to like or ordered was 32,929 copies. That's kind of low for, not super low, but low in comparison to other books at that time.
Absolutely.
I think it's kind of a cool book, obviously because Kamala Khan's first appearance. It's kind of weird. There's a lot of these anthology books coming out right now. It's kind of hard to decide, do I buy it, do I not buy it? You know, like all these voices and different books like that. They're kind of similar to this, where it's like one new first appearance and then a bunch of random stories collected, which I don't particularly like those style of books.
Not really.
But you never know. They're so hit and miss. Like, do you get them? Do you not get them? But You know, just keep in mind there is a second print that has a blue bottom that's worth about double value, which has the exact same cover. And there's a 1 in 75 cover that's really awesome, done by Steve McNevin, that is crazy expensive. It's like over $1,000 for a raw copy in high grade. So keep a lookout for that one. It's really cool. I will say, after watching the show, definitely geared towards a younger audience, but I appreciate it. I'm liking the show. I'm going to stick with it, keep watching it. I can't imagine they got to use her somewhere after the show too, so I don't know. They can't keep it, all little kid most of the time. But throw in with Deadpool. I don't know. Let's see. Let's mix it. Go one end of the spectrum to all the way to the other, and just mix it in together. I don't know.
Scar mentally so bad right now.
But
is it Chalupa?
A lot of her keys have all dropped significantly since the show came out. I don't think, it's for whatever reason. They're definitely all going to go back up when they use her again in whatever fashion, because people clearly like the show. But Zach will give you more information on this. What do you think, Zach?
So current sales for a CGC 9.8 is $1,599 to $1,799. That's pretty high. The number of graded 9.8 for first print is in a 9.8 is 363. 358 is universal. 5 of them is signature series, and there's no restorer to qualify. Thank God.
Yeah. Thank God.
Total 2,352 graded total. The variant, the 1 in 75, there's only 22 CGC 9.8s, all universal. Wow. There's only 101 graded.
Wow.
The second print, there's only 38 CGC 9.8s, and there's 169 graded. So, even the cover A, it's only a quarter.
Still low.
It's about a quarter of the print run.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a quarter of the print, or a quarter of all grades. So it's like 25% chance of getting it in a 9.8. Then that's pretty low. That's actually pretty low. And then the variant, the second print is probably the one you kind of go after, because you can't afford a 1 in 75. And if you can, get it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna drop a little bit. Maybe not the 1 in 75, but it's gonna drop a little bit after show. But this is one of the characters that is. The actress is very likable and can grow.
Super likable.
Can grow with the character.
Mm-hmm.
Become more of an adult and then take on more responsibilities. So I would get this book if after it's another couple months when it drops even lower. Yeah, I'd get this book.
Yeah, and her team ups in the comics are really cool. Like the whole Champions run was pretty awesome. Just seeing her with all those, next gen heroes. She's a great character for that. So
absolutely.
Definitely going to use her. Okay. Next up, this is, a little relevant here book. We have The Boys, #1. This is from Wildstorm Comics in 2006. So we do have 2 regular versions of this, but I think they're out getting graded. So this is actually a shiny version. It's not the real one. We're not actually talking about this shiny one, but just so you know what the cover looks like. It's an identical cover. This book was written by Garth Ennis, and it's drawn by Derek Robertson. So, cool book, cool story. You have first appearance of the boys with Billy Butcher and then I think Huey. I don't think Frenchie and Mother's Milk are in this issue. I think they're in the second one.
Mother's
Milk. But I honestly haven't read this story. I've read a couple of issues here and there throughout, and I do want to sit down and read it because I think the show is just awesome. Ridiculously cool show. And it's interesting, I still don't know the backstory and, why the first, 6 issues are in Wildstorm and then it switches to Dynamite. I don't know, they must have bought out the run. It's kind of cool, it switches to Dynamite after a certain amount of time. That's interesting in its own, but just a cool book. I mean, it's been expensive for a while. It seems like when the show is not on the air, it goes down a little bit. Carl Urban, killing it, such an underrated actor, kills it in the big screen and then does TV shows and just kills it too. Probably Zach's favorite character, right?
Yeah, one of the favorite characters. I actually like Huey too, but yeah, the other guy's way better.
Yeah, and on a cool side note, you have Huey was actually drawn to look like Simon Pegg originally, and they wanted him to do the role when it came out, but they never were able to get a show going, so that's why Simon Pegg is the dad in the show, because they still want him to be in the show. So kind of a cool side note. You can find the show on Amazon Prime, but more importantly, Zach, do you think it's a good time to buy Boys #1?
Well,
graded?
By the numbers, in a CGC 9.8, it's $388 to $399 currently. There's 808 graded CGC 9.8s, 710 are universal, 97 are side, 1 is qualified, unfortunately, but 0 restored. That's awesome. There's 1,886 graded total. That's actually pretty impressive for a black background kind of cover.
Mhm.
But it is a newer book. Yeah, I would at least. I mean, by statistics wise, if you bought a raw copy and you kind of went over it and okay, this is nice, it should get a 9.8. The one before is also new book, but it was also kind of wonky. I mean, it looks like it's actually really hard to get a 9.8. And I'm already pointing out. Yeah, I would get this. I would get this again after the show is done and people start talking about it. And then you can get it for a steal of a deal.
Yeah, it's hard to say, like if this book's gonna like retain its value after the show's completely over. If it's still gonna be really high. Like I said, having not read the whole story and know how great like it is, maybe it is like the one of the top tier stories written, then maybe it like retains what's going on. It's hard to say, could be.
I mean, looking at The Walking Dead, I mean the print runs are quite different, the paper quality is quite different, but it could retain a quarter of that of the potential gains.
Yeah, true.
Walking Dead is pretty much the 2000s book, early 2000s book to get because the print run's just so crazy.
It's crazy low though. That book's crazy low. Okay, next up on our list, I think this is the only one we don't have. We wish we had it, but Sandman #1. This is by DC/Vertigo when they were doing that back in the day. Came out in 1989, done by Neil Gaiman and Dave McKean. This book is obviously really, really important. It's considered like one of the best stories ever written in comics. You have first appearance of Morpheus, also known as Dream, and then there's a bunch of characters that kind of go throughout the story that aren't like super important, but like Unity Kincaid, Roderick Burgess, Ethel Cripps. They're kind of like ones that start out in the beginning. I think like when because there's a bunch of time frame that goes on throughout the story. But cool book. It's definitely one of those classics. It's pretty expensive for like what it is and when it came out. But there's a Netflix series coming out, a TV show that's coming out. There's a lot of big name actors that are attached to it, so I think it should do really, really well. I'm excited to watch the show. I recently read the book and was slightly confused by it. Its greatness. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it, but I kind of want to watch the show and see what I missed. Because it felt like I was reading someone's like ADD writing or something like that. It was like everywhere, that story. And I know a lot of people love this story, and I don't want to downgrade it, but yeah, Zach will give you more information on it. Can't wait to watch the show though.
So, price-wise, in a CGC 9.8, it's $932 to $1,999. Very, very stable book. There's 1,093 CGC 9.8s. There's 1,013 Universal, 75 Signature Series, 5 qualified and 0 restored. There's 4,150 CGC 9.8, so again, about a quarter of the graded run. So it's actually really hard to get this book in a CGC 9.8. This one's a little tough. This is a classic book. I mean, if you read the story, like it, find a good deal, get it. But right now, it's going to be the high.
Yeah,
should
with the show coming out. And the previews are like, that's when it's the highest, when you see the previews.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Morpheus. I know a little bit about Death, who's in issue 8. That's the one I'm excited about for the series. I'm hoping she shows up, and I'm excited to see who plays her. Anyways, yeah, it's like a maybe. If you like the book, get it. If you're like, I don't know, this is probably a good investment, then probably don't get it. You have to like the book. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right. But a classic. And
yes.
I know many people love this story. A lot. More than a lot. Okay, next up on the list. This is, we're like all relevant right now. This is some relevant stuff. We have Incredible Hulk 449 from 1997. This is art by Mike Deodato, written by Peter David. This is important because it is the first team appearance of the Thunderbolts. Kind of cool if you think about like who's on this team when it started. They're all like nobody characters, but you have Citizen V, who's before was Baron Zemo. You have Atlas, who used to be Goliath. Mach 1 used to be Beetle. Songbird used to be Screaming Mimi. Meteorite, who used to be Moonstone 2. Techno, who used to be Fixer. Just crazy. I think if I remember reading later on, isn't those characters like all other villains that like take on these other personas or something like that? They're like tricking everybody into thinking the Thunderbolts are heroes, but they're actually like villains.
Well, I think they're probably heroes, but they're like taking villains and making them into kind of like
Thunderbolt Ross, right?
Yeah, because obviously Ross is trying to put the team together, but he's trying to do it on a budget, so he gets people out of prison and like, hey,
budget heroes.
It's kind of like Suicide Squad, but like they're probably not going to kill them if they say no.
True. Plus, Ross isn't like the best guy, but needless to say, this book is really exciting right now. Back in 2019, they announced that the show was in development for, I think, a movie. They're going to do a movie, not a TV show. I think so. But it kind of like left in limbo for a while, so that's when everyone was getting hot with it. I think that's when we got this one back then. But in June of 2022, they attached the director to it. So now we know it's Jake Shuri, who directed Black Widow.
Oh, wow.
Which is awesome. And there's a lot of people that I feel don't appreciate Black Widow for what it is. I absolutely love that movie.
Oh,
it was really so good, so underrated. Like, nice dose of funny, but I'm really excited about that. This could go a bunch of different ways. I mean, traditionally, you've got Thunderbolt Ross should have been in charge of the Thunderbolts, but, William Hurt passed away, awesome actor, who has been playing Ross so far. And it kind of seems like they're setting up, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine as the one who's putting the team together. So maybe they're going to switch it to her, who's played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, great actress as well. So, I don't know, this could go a bunch of ways. Zach, is it a good time to buy this book graded?
Well, first thing, I hope they could put the Red Guardian into the movie as a tryout kind of scene. Because like, hey, I'm here for the try. It's like, yeah, we're not taking you. Oh, man. I fuck Captain America. Okay, so right now, CGC 9.8 reads and sells. It's selling for $660 to $700. Very steady book. So this is probably a book you want to eventually get. Let's talk about the numbers. There's only 671 CGC 9.8s. 655 of them are universal. 16 of them are signature series. There's 2,629 CGC graded books. And for some reason, there's an 8.5 restored?
Mm-hmm.
Why? That's the only restored on there. Like, why? Why would you do that? Do you I can sneak one past him? You failed.
Got you.
I would get this book. I would really get this book. I'd shop around a little bit. You'll probably be able to find a deal on it. 9.8 for that's not too bad for $660, $700 for a book of that caliber that's going to go up and up.
I felt like it was higher before too. The first time around, it got higher, and now it's kind of going back up. It hasn't quite hit where it was before.
Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I think that's such a funny looking cover. It's funny, iconic. I mean, I could see that book just keep on going up.
Well, it's kind of a standalone. It's not that weird point in Hulk where almost all the books around it are kind of garbage, except for that one. You're like, when you're strolling through there, you're like $4.49. Whoa, there's a big book. Everything else is like nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay, last book on the list, and at least. The last one was Princess Pick, and this final one is a Princess Pick as well. So we have Star Wars, Darth Vader, number 20. This is volume 3, the current run. You have Chris Sprouse did the cover on this one. It is a variant. Importance of this book, you have first cover appearance of Din Djarin and Grogu, also known as Baby Yoda, to the inner circle. But they are not in the story at all. So they did these kind of masterpiece covers where they threw these extra stuff on there. So kind of an interesting book. I think they're doing a Mandalorian 1 comic books coming out soon, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But this would be their first appearance on cover. I was trying to remember how many times has this happened before, where a character shows up on a cover before they're in a story. I know Star Wars has done it, Darth Talon, that happens a couple of times, but
right.
I don't know if they do that in any other books, but it's hard to say. Definitely cool. I passed on it when it was coming out because I wasn't really sure what was going on with this book, and I had gotten some earlier. There were these masterpiece covers, and I wasn't digging them. I made a mistake. Probably should have gotten this book. Princess was smarter. She picked one up and got this book. The only thing I can think of is also kind of cool since it's a variant. It might be a lower print run too. Like how many people did want to get this cover since it's kind of weird, and they didn't announce it very well that it was going to be the first cover. So I don't know, Zach. More importantly, what do you think about this book?
So this book was very confusing to research. So I've gotten sales from $61 to $169 by searching different things. So we'll say $61 to $169.99. Vast difference. There's, I believe, 955 CGC 9.8s.
Wow, already.
I believe, I could be wrong because there was something else interesting about it because I think there's a slight variant in there. There's 951 Universal and one Signature Series. There's a total of 1,028 total, but there's another one that says a 50th anniversary variant on there that's only 2 graded in a CGC 9.8.
I think there's a second print, but I don't know. I don't think the second print was very expensive.
There was another one that was already listed. There's
we need
one
to know about this other version.
Either CGC made a mistake or there's a super rare variant of this. Like could be that one, and it might just be a slight difference. It could just be one slight thing, and we just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so confusing. First Grogu and Mandalorian comics, that's pretty cool, at least cover-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have a real big opinion on it. I don't know. It's not for me. It's not for me, but it's pretty cool, actually. It's a really good cover.
Yeah.
It's a really good cover.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to wrap up the show for today. Got a little bit of knowledge, see what's going on. As usual, guys, we like the show, love the show. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you always know when new things are going down. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the new pickups. Let us know what you think about Time to Buy with Zach. If we tripped him up, maybe you guys can always put some comments in there if you want us to add those in for maybe the next episode. We wouldn't mind if you guys want Zach to identify a book, right? We could do that.
Yeah,
that's possible. You got anything else, Zach?
Yeah, you want to share, and how do you do that is you get this creature from this crazy, potentially crazy person that would sell a child a very dangerous animal to the parents. They bring it home, they don't follow the rules, some stuff goes down, and then they made a movie about it because it's real life, guys. Gremlins are real. It's real.
Don't feed him after midnight.
Don't be fooled.
Because you don't feed him after midnight?
Yeah, don't feed them after midnight.
And don't get them wet.
Don't get them wet. I don't think you're supposed to reveal them to sunlight.
I don't know about
There's 3 rules. There's at least 3 rules.
I don't know.
What's the 3rd rule, guys? Let me know.
All right. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those gremlin gains. I don't eat too late.
Get 'em.